Welcome back to Be Honest Radio right here on IntellectualRadio.com. I am your host, Jay Davis, aka the Nimble Sex Symbol, and I'm joined by my beautiful, lovely, sweet, like dear meat co-host.
Crystal Iris, the boss that extraordinaire. What up, y'all?
How you feeling?
I'm fabulous. How you feeling? You should be feeling excellent.
I'm feeling a little happy, a little giddy.
Happy, yeah. Tell us what's happening.
I won
what's
a little
happening?
award, the HAPA Award,
a little award
for best film, not another black movie.
Okay.
Along with Dante Diesel, he won for best director of not another black movie.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
We are so proud.
And I got some edibles from LA, but we're not gonna talk about that right now. Because I think I got one in my system right now, so the night gonna be fun.
Oh my goodness, no you don't. You better hope your job ain't watching.
Bullshit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So today, everybody, we're talking about toxic love. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and also domestic violence awareness is something that I advocate for. Just to make sure that we are having healthy relationships. So, and I've had my personal experiences with this, so it's something I'm very passionate about. And so that's what we're talking about today. We're going to warm up to talking about some stories and things like that. So, toxic love is what we're talking about.
Toxic
Jay Davis.
Love.
Mm-hmm.
People are commenting already. I've been through some toxic love.
Yes.
Can y'all hear me okay? Is the volume up? I think we got to talk a little bit more. How y'all doing? But anyway, he said he still love her.
Turn it up.
Turn
this up?
I don't think we can turn that up. We just got to speak a little louder.
Okay, cool. No problem.
But let's just start off. What defines a toxic relationship?
What defines a toxic relationship? Anything that is preventing you from being your best self, I feel, is toxic.
So somebody, it doesn't have to be physical. It can be somebody just mentally brown.
Right. It could be mental. It could be financially. If you are compromising too much of yourself, your morals, your values, your dreams to be with the person, or it's a controlling situation, it is toxic. Ooh. And it doesn't always have to be physical.
It doesn't.
Does not. No. Oh. They could just be draining. They could be a depressed person in your energy, in your space, and they are toxic.
So
how would you define it?
I define it similar.
Fair?
That's fair. Anything that brings you down, that you sometimes people don't even know they're in a toxic relationship until it's too late.
Right.
Until they're looking in the mirror like, I had all my teeth at one point. And yes. Now I'm short 3. So some people don't know it until, it's too late. And the worst thing is they don't want to listen to outside people about their situation. Like, you don't know me, you don't know him, stay out of our business, but your nose is bleeding right now. Yeah. Like, help.
Yeah. Or there's some major changes in your personality.
Right.
And it becomes difficult when your friends who are always used to you being a certain way, having high energy and being productive in life, and then all of a sudden you're not so productive. Right.
Someone just said it's Kanye in a toxic relationship. I think he might be, but I think Ye has some mental issues he need to talk to somebody about. I really do think he has some mental health issues, but that relationship, I don't think it. I don't know. I'm from the outside looking in, but if your wife is just randomly getting naked for photo shoots, something's not right. Something's not right.
Oh my gosh, you are silly.
He got 2 mother-in-laws right now. It's not the best.
Well, since we're talking about celebrities, the Bobby Brown story was out.
Yes.
And that was definitely a toxic relationship.
Whitney, according to the story, and this I know is true, because Bobby didn't paint the picture like he was perfect. He put it all out there. And Whitney and Bobby seem to be toxic to each other. So do you think that's the case? A lot of times 2 people are just too toxic for each other?
I think as you know, I believe a lot in energy. Mm-hmm. And when one person is toxic in the relationship, you have an influence over the other person. You are both influential to each other. And yes, you can potentially also be toxic.
So if you start smoking weed, that means your man gonna start smoking weed?
It means that I might have some influence. It means that I might have some influence. Gotcha. And I might feel comfortable enough to have that experience with them.
Oh. So, why would a person stay in a toxic situation? Why?
Because
They
they
see it's
love
bad.
him
They
or
get
because they love her.
they getting all this MAC makeup to cover up. They spending a couple of hundred in makeup just so they can go to work, and they just keep coming home. Is it? What do you think it is? Is love?
Okay, well, first, let's kind of back up a little bit because we're talking about something physical. And as we stated, it's not always physical. Toxic can just be that they are not, that you're compromising too much of yourself for that person. So it's not always physical,
Okay,
right?
right. I agree.
So when people are in toxic relationships, I think people stay in those because it's something that's familiar. A lot of times, like some people are raised in toxic environments.
That's
And
true.
if you identify toxicity as
What just happened?
being a part of love, identifying that with love, then you can grow up in adult relationships and identify toxic relationships as love.
Somebody
Does
just
that make sense?
that makes sense.
Okay.
Somebody just said they were in a relationship and she got him strung out. If you want to
She
call
had
in,
him strung out.
strung out. So if you want to call into the show, the number is 708-223-8953. I want to hear a simplified version of the story. So call in 708-223-8953.
Yes.
And he said she had some good, you know what, that's why he stayed. But
A lot of people stay for different reasons. Sometimes it is because the sex is good. And unfortunately, some people value sex more than their life. They
that's true.
just do.
That's
And it's not right.
it's not.
But who are we to say that it's right or it's not? We can say what's healthy and what's not healthy.
Well, if you've
But
if
again,
you've
if
lived
somebody,
through, if you experienced toxic relationship and you got past it, now you can tell people, hey, that's not good for you.
right? Because I know people who, for instance, like some people are just conditioned because of those environments. So, for instance, I have an aunt who was very abusive to her children and her grandchildren coming up. And when they became adults or started dating and things like that, they attracted the same type of energy from men. And so they accepted being hit or they accepted being in unhealthy situations because when mama or when grandma beat me, it's out of love. I love you. And so, yeah.
Some people, I've seen situations where some people are not comfortable when things are going right. I have a relative. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna say this person's name. It's a sister, but but it seems like when everything is going right, they have to do something to make it comfortable, and being comfortable means chaos.
Yeah.
Some people are comfortable in chaos.
Yeah. Some people like drama. I think we all like a little bit of drama, but you got to know what kind of drama you can handle.
like-
what kind of drama is healthy?
Like furniture throwing drama. Nah,
No,
that's not cool.
that's not the kind of drama we want.
Like
So,
occasional yelling. Like, yeah, that's cool.
right. Lotus says, because some people, I think because some folks only know that love starting from their parents and they don't recognize love in any other way. Right. And then Tracy says some find staying easier than being alone. And that's true too. If you end up in a situation where, let's say there's somebody who is in a situation because they don't have any family, they don't have anybody, and then you get this one person who is able to meet your needs.
They just
They can give you a house,
have active hands.
they have active hands, or they're just verbally abusive. And they mentally drain you, financially drain you, or whatever the case is. But they provide a need, and so it's safe.
I don't have the mental capacity to yell at somebody. Just come home and just take my whole day out on somebody. I don't have that in me.
Right.
I might curse like, "How was your day?" It sucked, and that's about it. But I'm not finna just take my day out on you.
Right.
I don't have, even if I really wanted to. I'm like, man, I'm finna go lay down.
Yeah. But that's because you were raised differently, right? So how were you raised, and how does that correlate to like how you have helped, how you operate in your relationships now?
My mom said, I love any person that you bring home.
Hmm.
Never put your hands on a woman. And in the same breath, she told my sisters, never stay in a relationship with a man and put his hands on you. But at the same time, don't try to fight a man.
Right.
And it's just keep your hands to yourself and keep your, some people don't know us as black people, first of all. We have an issue with mental health. That's just the issue that's been going on for real. And if you don't address issues, they're gonna linger around, and that's what we don't do. We don't address issues. So I knew somebody who just every time they talk, they yelled, even if they weren't
You don't even
mad.
know how to have a
Yeah,
healthy
and it's just like,
conversation.
and I'm like, hey, check your tone and watch your delivery, cause it's coming. Like my fist is balling up, and it's coming off like you finna come at me. But she really didn't want to fight. That's just her
Yeah.
energy, and she was raised in a house where everybody yelled.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and it's not. You try to tell her, she think you crazy
Right.
for telling her how to talk.
I think people have to be mindful about how they communicate within their relationship, because there are people who are just raised differently, you know. And I keep saying this because I really think it's rooted in childhood and your experiences as a child and what you witnessed. And I think, oh dang, I think I just lost my train of
You
thought.
did okay. You
Sorry.
get it back.
Yeah, I will keep going.
Okay.
Just go.
Taisha just
Sorry,
said,
y'all.
I've witnessed most of the women in my family go through some kind of abuse,
Yeah.
be it verbal or physical. I vow to never undo what I witnessed in a relationship. That's a fear of mine. That's the reverse part of it. Like
Yeah.
you see it and you like, no. I know people who don't drink because they seen relatives or family members drink to the point where they become alcoholics. And it's
Right.
like people never touch alcohol. And for somebody to go through college and never touch alcohol, that means they really had something to hit their psyche.
Yeah. And that just depends on the person. Because, like you said, it's like reverse. Some people, they grow up in those conditions and they amplify that, like they emulate it. And then there are others who use it as motivation and say, I'm not dealing with that.
Yeah. We
So,
black people,
yeah.
please go talk to somebody. Mental health associate. Go talk to anybody. Don't ball that stuff up and you lose your mind in the wrong situations. Go talk to people. Mental health is so important.
Yes. But sometimes people don't know that they have a mental issue.
They don't. They do not know.
So I think education has to be done first.
Brandon said, I went through college without drinking until I met my girl at college. And she drove you to drink, brother?
Lotus says, I have supported many women that were in abusive relationships. And what I noticed was each time they came for help, even when they went back, they didn't go back the same, and they would gain more courage to leave, even though they went back. Abuse starts well before the hand was laid. Yes, it does. There's actually like this domestic violence wheel, and it shows a pattern, how everything is good. Sometimes relationships move fast at a rapid pace, and it's like a honeymoon stage, and then all of a sudden it's more verbal things that starts to happen, and then the manipulation comes, and then isolation. So manipulation is where it's like, oh, you picking your friends over me. They just play with the mind way too much. Way too much.
I've seen situations where couples, either the guy or the woman, is jealous of the other person and try to bring them down by this little small stuff. Like, babe, I got a new promotion at my job. I thought you hated that job. I thought you were looking for a new job. Like, this little small stuff like that.
Yes.
Keep picking away at you
Yeah.
until you like, this person hate me. Like, it's just not, this come out and say, I hate you, instead of slowly breaking me down.
Oh.
Like, oh, baby, like my new shoes? They all right. I thought you was going to get the other ones. Like you hate everything.
How do you know that you're in a toxic relationship?
When you're just unhappy, when I was younger, I remember I used to like watch shows like Married with Children, and they always used to show guys go to bars to get drinks right after work. And I always just say, man, why do that? Why are you wasting money at a bar? Why don't you just go home with your wife? Until I got married, I was like, that's why they go to bars. They don't want to go home. And that's what happened. Like when you stop wanting, like when you would rather be at work than at home relaxing, you in a bad situation.
Man, that's messed
You
up.
like, I would rather work 14 hours a day and just come home and sleep rather than talk to this fool next to me.
That's messed up.
It is.
And people stay in those situations.
Yeah, they just stay and you become roommates at that point.
Oh.
Brandy Love said, "Yes, my ex said I was too old to be successful with his toxic self."
Too old to be
That's
successful.
another.
Yeah.
You slow. Like, why would you? If somebody you love, why would you say something to discourage
Yeah.
them?
Yeah. I think we have to be, like I said, be mindful of the conversations that we're having. Have a little bit of sensitivity because you never know how somebody is perceiving that. Even when you really know somebody or you feel like you really know them, people grow and they have different experiences outside of that relationship. And when you bring it back together, you have to be able to communicate with them in a sensitive way, so that it doesn't offend somebody. Like, I know one thing that women think about all the time is like their weight, and sometimes we want the opinion of our guy. Like, do you still find me attractive? Am I not attractive? You know what? And you can't just say, you could say,
Can I still sit on your face? All that stuff. Y'all be looking for that. I know.
Jay.
What happened? What just happened?
So I'm just saying. Oh gosh.
Danisha said, I had an ex that got mad at me when I started taking college classes. He said I was spending too much time at school and not with him. That was my cue to run.
Yeah.
Like, when he don't want you to be nothing.
Yeah, when he doesn't want you to progress. And I don't want okay, so here's the thing, real quick, just to interject. I don't want it to make it seem like it's men always abusing women, because women are out here abusing men. And I really do not like that at all.
No, Brandon, he's going in. Like, I'm not reading all his comments, but he's telling me he got choked out.
Read what he's saying.
One
what
girl left marks around my neck from choking me, and the other, I can't even begin to tell you all the ways she hit me, but I loved them. So I thought it was normal, but that comes from mom issues. Like, were you dating people in MMA or UFC? So yeah, women do abuse men.
They do.
They slowly tear men down. Some women will tear men down to the point where they want to stick around because they think, man, I'm too ugly to be out here single.
Yeah, it really plays on the self-esteem.
Yeah.
But like I was saying about the weight, so the men, you can't just say, "Oh, you fat." You can't say something like that.
Right.
you
Right.
gotta,
You're like,
say,
whoa.
Be a little more sensitive. Well, babe, I think we should work out together. How about that?
Mhm.
We can do this together. Yeah, you have picked up a little weight. I still think you're beautiful, and I picked up some weight too. Let's do this together. Something a little more sensitive. But when you just say you fat, nasty, and all of this stuff, like, you really, especially when you love somebody, you're really damaging them. And so when I'm in relationships, I really try to be mindful of how I'm communicating with somebody. I don't want to tear them down. I don't ever want to tear somebody down. Even when I can't stand them and I'm mad and we about to break up, on the verge of breaking up. I try my best not to.
That's why I'm different.
Not to hurt.
I know, like, when I know it's over, when I'm my best, I'm like, I'm finna ruin this person forever.
That is evil.
Because when I know it's 100% over and I don't care anymore, I'm reckless. But whenever a person says, I love hard, just leave. Like, you gonna get hit. You are gonna get hit with something hard.
There are some verbal cues.
Love hard means like we go everywhere together.
There are some verbal cues, and the other cue is, ain't nobody gonna love you more than I love you. Like, can't nobody love you like I love you.
But if a person takes abuse because they don't want to get put out, are they at fault? They probably just be in survival mode at that point.
You do go into survival mode.
Yeah, some people like, hey, you got to put up with some stuff. Like, either, let's see, I get disrespected or eat garbage.
But you know what? Even still though, it's still unhealthy. No matter how you look at it, I understand
garbage
that it's survival.
Is very unhealthy.
It's still unhealthy in an unhealthy situation. But yeah, like you said, sometimes survival skills do kick in, but you have to have a plan. Like, you shouldn't just make that your final destination. You got to keep moving and keep going
Right.
to get out of the situation. And even when you're dating somebody who's toxic, sometimes you got to be careful about the way that you exit the relationship.
Oh yeah. Like who was it? That guy, and this is a horrible story. I'm not trying to make fun of it. The girl, you remember a few years ago, the Facebook killer, the guy who I guess his girlfriend broke up with him, and he walked up to an old man and shot him on Facebook Live, and he blamed it on this girl. He shot an old man. He
I
like
don't remember
this is
that.
with like 4 years ago. He blamed it on his girlfriend. He's like, "This is for you." He said it online. "This is for you." Shot this old man in the head.
Oh
That
yeah, I
guy
do
broke
remember
up, and
that. I
it's like
remember that.
some people, and they were worried about. Roy, my friend Roy Will Jr. said people were more concerned about Facebook Live, but how about be concerned about what drove this man with no criminal history to do that? Some people you
Yeah.
just can't break up with like that.
Yeah.
Some people you just can't be like, get out of my life, and expect them to be okay with
Right.
that.
You can't. You cannot do that. You got to have an action plan. When I talk to my girls and women about domestic violence, but this will apply for toxic relationships too, you have to create an exit strategy.
Oh, do tell.
An exit strategy means you got some people in place that's going to help you get the heck up out of this situation. You ever saw that movie Enough with Jennifer Lopez?
Yes.
And she had like her dad or neighbors and things like that in place. Like, okay, these are the
Get my
bags.
stuff out right.
Yes. So I'm gonna have some clothes over at your house. This is what time I need you over here. These are our verbal cues. If you see me flash the light, that means hurry up and come in here because it's going down. So there is an action plan that needs to take place in order to get you out of that situation safely. And I think more people need to know about that.
What about when
Because
kids are involved?
when kids are involved, that's even worse.
Because you're basically ripping someone's daughter away from them.
Yeah, but a lot of times they're abusive to the child too.
That's true.
They are abusive to the child too, many, many times.
That's sad.
So you do what you got to do for you and your child. And if we want to take this to the court, we can take it to the court after I'm safely in a new place.
If you're friends, have you ever been friends with somebody who was in a relationship and you knew just from the stories they were telling you, you knew it was bad, but they're only telling you the stuff that they want you to know.
Right.
So how do you help people in situations like that?
A lot of times when it's a friend and it's a close friend, you got to know your friend. Know the personality of your friend, and you can go to your friend and say, "Hey, I'm noticing that since you've been with this person, you have been very unhappy. You're a little depressed. When I raise my hand, you kind of flinching a little bit. I'm noticing something different about you. Is everything okay?"
And see
If because a lot of times when people are in domestic violence situations or toxic situations, the abuser is an abuser, and it plays on your psyche a lot. Like, you become paranoid. And so you have to be careful about this. It's almost like a PTSD thing. Like, if I say something to this person, are they going to hit me? Something's going to happen if I do this. Then there's always a consequence. And so people who are in those situations, they're always on guard.
I've had one or two situations, and you can't. I have a philosophy, and I know it sounds terrible, but I say you can't save everybody.
No.
So I had a person, and she was in a bad relationship. I'm not gonna say her name, but she was like, he hit me. He called me crying. He hit me. I'm like, who hit me? My boyfriend. I'm like, is he locked up? First of all, no. Why not? I don't want him to go to jail. I'm like, what are you gonna do? I'm gonna leave him. Okay. A week later, he hit me again. I thought you broke up. Did. Then why are you next to him? Why are you in his reach? I went over to. I had to borrow his dog for a scene I was
Yeah.
shooting. I'm like, I gotta go. It's like you walked into that. If somebody tells me, hey man, don't go over there, they be robbing people, and I go over there and I get robbed, that's my fault. If they say if I go over there again and I get robbed again, that's really my fault. So it's like some people have to learn lessons the hard way.
Yeah, but again, it goes back to patterns. Like domestic violence is not always just like I'm gonna hit you. It builds up to that. It builds up to it. So it starts with, the honeymoon phase. Yeah, we are so in love. And then it goes into like jealousy and things like that.
Oh,
Jealousy.
jealousy, like they are always checking your phone, stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Checking your phone, that's the insecurities, the manipulation, going through the phones. Those are all cues for a toxic relationship, domestic violence relationship, dating violence, if y'all don't live together. Those are all cues that something is not healthy here.
Right. Taisha Brooks said that person has to want help. I have a very close friend whose marriage is so toxic it should be one of those urban novels that, but she doesn't want to leave. Some people they have
Because
to.
it's comfortable. It becomes comfortable. It's like, and especially if it's for survival. Because think about it, like I was saying, as with domestic violence, it builds up to like a physical abuse. It don't start there. So it starts with with the jealousy, the verbal cues, the manipulation, and then there's an isolation. And the isolation is important for an abuser because now I'm separating you from your friends, separating you from your family members, and there's nobody to save you because I made you get away from them. Like I warded them off. You see what I'm saying?
And they're
So
alone, right?
it's so now you're alone and you're under my thumb. You're too ashamed to go back to your family and say I need help. You can't reach out to your friend and say, "Hey, I'm struggling here." A lot of times you can't do that. So they have to go to outside resources. And sometimes those outside resources are very difficult
Right.
to even get into, like domestic violence shelters and stuff like that. It's hard. If they don't have a bed available, you stuck.
Yeah. Yeah. Danisha said it can take 7 to 10 cycles of leaving and going back to an abusive mate before you leave for good.
Yeah.
Some people, something has to happen where people realize, all right, enough is enough. I almost didn't make it out of this one.
Yeah. But like I said, it becomes comfortable. You get familiar with what that person is going to do. You know how hard you're going to get hit if dinner is not ready.
Yeah.
You know.
Like I can't take
You
no
know,
more face
right.
shots. They talking about me at the
Right.
job.
You
But
know, if somebody, if you tell your child to go do something and they told them not to do it, that you're going to get cursed out really, really bad. And it's going to come close to hitting, but maybe he's not going to hit. So it becomes comfortable.
Brandon said he went back to she used to check my cell phone. And he said that's one of the root reasons why he don't have a cell phone is that he doesn't carry a cell phone because of that situation he was in, and he doesn't have a cell phone. Not because
That's
I'm cheating. That
terrible.
situation just left a nasty taste in my mouth for cell phones. So
And that's terrible. That's terrible.
yeah, some people won't do a lot of stuff because of a situation they was in.
Yeah, I think people need to stop going through cell phones and stop being disrespectful in relationships so that we don't get into these situations. A lot of times women hit first, even when they're joking. My mom taught me a long time ago. I was in high school and she started noticing different patterns when I was in a younger relationship. And she started noticing patterns, throwing cold water on me in the middle of the wintertime, telling me you shouldn't be with your friends, you should be with me. Oh, you picked them over me. And it would be a routine thing that I would do with my friends, and he would start doing those things. And I didn't notice that. I was like all in love and stuff. I'm like, girl, what are you talking about? Leave me alone. you know, I kind of blew my parents off a little bit. And eventually it became physical. I didn't get punched or anything, but the grabbing of my arms, like putting bruise on me, pinching me, things like that started to happen. And so it can happen. It can happen. And so people just got to be mindful
And
about what you're going to take and what you're not going to take.
keep your hands to yourself.
Yeah.
First of all,
Yeah.
if you don't want to get, I'm not saying if fellas it's okay to hit a woman if they hit you, but ladies, just
Stop hitting.
stop hitting.
Stop.
Yeah, you're not gonna beat no man up. Just like you're not.
Yeah.
So it's the same. If I walk up and punch punch a pit bull in the face, and that pit
You're an
bull
abuser.
attack me and tear me up, no one's gonna say blame the pit bull. It's like it was my fault. I hit the pit bull. I deserve that. So I'm not saying you deserve to get hit if you hit a man, but
Stop hitting.
stop it. Some guys don't care,
Yeah.
and they've punched women before, and you won't be the first.
Yeah. A lot of times it start with just play fighting.
Mhm.
I've seen that happen.
Play fighting,
Play
choking.
fighting. Yeah. They say, oh, let's slap box. My mom told me a long time ago, you don't slap box. You don't play like that. You don't hit. Because a lot of times women they'll spin and they'll hit. You know, or the guy do something crazy and they'll hit. And sometimes the guy have reflexes and they're gonna hit your tail back, and then that's gonna be really, really bad. So you have to be mindful. Real quick, let me give you guys the number again: 708-223-8953. We talking about toxic love. It is October Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Again, the phone number is 708-223-8953 if you would like to call in and join the conversation. Otherwise, just keep hitting us up on our social media pages.
I want to know if y'all know anybody going through stuff, and y'all don't know what to tell them. Maybe we can give you some great advice. Maybe it'll be terrible advice, but at least it's advice.
We're hoping that we don't give terrible
Like you
advice.
just said, you do deserve to get hit if you hit a man. Like I'm not gonna say yes or no, but I'm not gonna pick a fight with somebody and not expect to get hit.
Right.
I'm just not. Like if I'm not to the point where I'm mad, if I pick a fight with you, I expect to fight. I'm not expecting to hit him and just go home. Like, yeah, you see what I did to him, right?
Right.
It's not gonna work out like that.
But the laws don't really protect men from violence like that. Why do you
against women?
Yes, violence against women. They don't protect men from things like that.
And I wonder, is it the same where like a man can't say he's been raped by a woman?
Yeah.
Like you don't believe? Like no, what are you talking about?
Right.
We got a caller.
Hi, caller.
Caller, what's your name? Where you from?
Hi.
Hey, who's this?
Oh, this is Sherelle.
Hey, Sherelle.
Hey, y'all.
Hey, what's up?
Hey.
Toxic
I wasn't
relationship.
joined in the conversation about hitting.
Oh, okay. You didn't punch somebody before, haven't you, Sherelle?
Yep.
You know, I did.
I can hear it in
Okay,
your
go
voice.
ahead. Let us know what's up.
Okay, but I wanted to get at. Sometimes people think that it's okay to get hit because that's what they have seen in their life. And I remember being a little kid, I saw my godmama fighting a lot with her boyfriend. I saw what happened in every relationship that my mom was in. So I kind of wanted that a little bit because I felt that, oh, that doesn't mean that he loved you or whatever. And I thought being controlling was good until I was with my child's father, the first one, my oldest, at 16. He hit me while I was like 16 years old, and it didn't feel good. So I smacked him up.
Say that again. You kind of cut out.
Say that last part again, Sherelle.
You said he hit you and it didn't feel good, and then what?
I messed him up.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you say messed him up, should we be talking about this, or what'd you do?
No, I hit him with a bottle. I was coming from my aunt's house, and I was coming from my aunt kind of stayed behind his mom a little bit, and he had like caught me in the alley. Like we had argued verbally, but he caught me in the alley and was trying to fight me, and there was a bottle that was right there, and because he hit me and he did choke me, but I grabbed the bottle and I hit him with it, and then he ran. But then, and I was just 16, so it started from when I was 16, and I finally left him when I was 19. But from 16 to 19, I was going through that every now and then. And so I finally left.
So you was fighting for like 3 years.
Yeah, like I was fighting while I was pregnant with my daughter and everything because I was with him since I was 15. So you know, at that time, I don't even think that was the first time, but I remember it like getting there because just little stuff. I remember it started happening verbally because sometimes abuse it starts verbally sometimes.
Yeah.
And then you know you brush it off because you're young and that's cute. They're yelling at you because they really like you. They're telling you what you can't do, and you think that it's cute until they actually put their hands on you. Like, oh no, this is real.
Yep. You're
So,
absolutely right.
like my advice is to people that's in relationships and that's getting abused verbally and mentally and physically. None of that is good because it takes a toll on your self-esteem, and it really takes a toll on your decisions in life towards other people. Some people can bet.
Are you
You
breaking
kind of
up? Are
you
you in
breaking
a
up, Sherelle.
tunnel or um you got a walkie-talkie? What's going on? Sherelle, you
You
there?
said what?
You
You
broke
Yeah, I'm
up.
here.
okay? Yeah, you broke up.
Okay.
We lost you at some people.
Okay, I said that some people get mentally distraught that they start to think that everybody is going to be like that. Every person that they're with is going to be like that.
Right.
Right.
So it messes with a person mentally.
Yeah.
And to you guys listeners, if they can hear me, I just want to let them know that it's not okay. At no point is not okay.
Right.
Now, I don't fight my boyfriend. I play with him or whatever. I always tell him I'm beat him down or whatever, but we don't fight. We don't fight. But if anybody is going through that, like it's not okay.
Right.
And they need to get out of that relationship and get some help.
So is getting slapped on your booty doing intercourse, is that abuse or what is that called?
Oh my gosh.
First of all, I don't know if I could curse, so I didn't curse. So first of all, that hurt, okay? That hurt.
Yeah.
But-
if I can't flip you over and hit me back, don't hit me.
She got real upset about that. Don't hurt me. Yes, I think if it's anything that is unwanted, any unwanted touches, cancel them out. Don't touch me. Don't hit me. Don't pinch me.
Don't do that.
Right.
I used to have. Thank you, Sherelle.
You're welcome.
We'll talk to you later, girl.
All right, bye.
I used to date a guy. The first relationship I had, he would do things like grab my cheeks together like this and make my teeth grind against my cheeks, and I would have bruises right here.
Oh damn.
Yeah. And he would say that don't hurt.
Wow.
I would say that hurts, and he would say no, that don't hurt, and he would do it again. And so yeah, and Sherelle talked about something that's very, very important. She talked about her earlier relationships, and we need to start talking about dating violence with our kids. Those early relationships, because a lot of times they set the tone for how you're going to have relationships as an adult.
And a lot of kids are afraid to tell their parents if something bad is going on.
Right,
And,
because they think that they're in love, or they think that they're just playing. And she also mentioned about jealousy, being jealous and controlling being equivalent to love in some people's eyes, and it's not. I've had girls, because hey girl, I would go out and do these workshops, and these talks about domestic violence and dating violence and things like that. And I had girls that would tell me that their boyfriends would lock them in lockers.
Why? These kids on
They would
crack
put them in
nowadays.
lockers.
Something wrong with these kids. Brandon Davis said, "I've never been in a relationship where I've never fought." You like you've inherited toxic behavior, brother. Like you can find some.
Ask why.
Why do you think that? Do you think it's you're picking the wrong people, or you're just used to a certain type of relationship, Brandon?
Because I think some guys, honestly, and I don't know if it's because of their conditioning, like growing up and things like that, if they just like women who are aggressive like that. Because some men do, they find that to be attractive, and they stay with the women who are like that.
If you hit me, if you make my teeth click together, I'm gonna do something to you. I'm not saying I'm gonna hit you, but you getting shoved.
All right, we gotta call.
You getting shoved hard.
Hey caller, thanks for calling.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello, who's this?
This is Brandon.
Hey, what up,
hey,
man?
Brandon.
What up?
Okay.
What's up? You joining us or what?
I am.
What's going on?
What are your thoughts?
Okay, so basically what I'm saying is that yes, I have been in my main two relationships, both have been domestic violence. Okay? I'm not saying I'm an angel, I never hit anybody. But they, for whatever reason, found it acceptable to put their hands on me. However, as I said earlier, I'm one of those people that believe if you hit me, then that means you love me. And again, that comes back to men. We do have mommy issues the same way women, you all have daddy issues.
Mm-hmm.
And that's for real.
So did your mom hit you?
No, I was never hit by any of my parents. I was never hit by my parents. But the thing was, my mother, she used to disappear. Like, she used to work nights and say, I'll be back, and not come back for 2-3 nights a week. So, of course, I left a void. I mean, she would be gone for like 2 or 3 nights, 2 or 3 days. And she just left out for work yesterday. You know what I'm saying? A couple of days ago, I'll be back. Hadn't seen her in 2-3 days. So, of course, I left a void in my life where now I'm out here kind of searching for a mother figure, and she portrayed that behavior. So now it's like I'm looking for whatever woman is going to be with me and stay with me, and I'm going to put up with whatever behavior that she does.
Wow.
And a lot of times moms give you the blueprint for the type of woman that you should expect, or what are the good qualities in a woman. So I can see that if you didn't have that, you won't know what you're looking for.
Right.
And I'm telling you, it's the same way when women are out here doing whatever they're doing because their dads are gone.
Yeah.
Now I've never hit a woman. But especially my last relationship, she used to ding me up all the time.
You ain't shove her down and nothing, pinch her?
Whenever things get really, really physical, like I used to grab her and hold her, you know what I'm saying, to restrain her from hitting me. But if I didn't, man, I'm telling you, like, she's thrown speakers out my window. She threw a computer out my window. Like, things got bad.
There's ways to get back at people like that. Like, you don't hit her, you go beat up her brother or her nephew or something like that. With a baseball bat. No. And then, like, when y'all break up, you're like, yeah, I did that to your nephew.
No. Right. But Brandon, why didn't you ever call the police, or have you ever called the police?
I mean, what am I going to do? I'm going to call the police, and then tomorrow we're going to be right back together. What's the point?
That's the way it happens.
Because I'm a grown man. I feel like I'm a grown man. If I can't take a few hits, then I'm a chump. You know, and to even be further to further get into the subject, the physical abuse really, that was nothing. It was more the mental that she did.
Yes, say it.
It was more the mental. It was more, I'll be home at 11:30. You get off work at 11 o'clock. I'll be home at 11:30, but you don't show up till 1:30, 2 o'clock. But where you at? Right. And then when I'm calling you at 12:30, 1 o'clock, you're not answering your phone. And then when you do come home, let's have sex, I'm tired. I've been at work all day. Well, but you still hung out 2-3 hours after work. So you can't be that tired. So it's the mental thing that really got me more so than the physical. If I can't handle a few hits, I'm not a man. Especially, because I was big and buff at the time. I'm not a man. But it was the mental, emotional that really broke me down.
Right.
Now, I'm not saying I was perfect because I wasn't. But she did way more.
Yeah.
To me than I did to her.
Right.
Wow.
Thank you.
Are you single right now, brother? Or are you looking for someone?
I am.
Okay. I mean, but at least you know what to look for. You acknowledge that you was in a toxic relationship. Yeah. So you know what you want to settle for and what you won't settle for, right?
Right. And right now at this point, I'm more mature. I'm more grown than what I was when we were together. We've been broken up now for 2 years, so I'm a lot more mature, a lot more grown. So even my own personal mentality has grown since then, and I know what what I want and what I'll accept and how I'm going to treat somebody.
That's awesome.
That's what's up, man. We appreciate the call,
Thank you so much.
All right, no problem. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah,
that was good. Thank you, Brandon.
Thanks a lot, man. Appreciate it. Sherelle said, "Yes, my mom fight all the time. I thought it was okay." Yeah. Some people think certain behavior is okay.
Right. That's what I was saying. That conditioning. Like I said, I have an aunt who would beat the heck out of her kids, and most of her kids ended up in crazy toxic relationships. And I like that Brandon mentioned, like, a lot of times that mental abuse is what's worse.
That's the stuff that breaks you down.
Yes, because the physical part, okay, give me a bruise, it's gonna go away. The scars, those will heal. But that mental stuff, that stuff that's underneath, no, it takes a while. It takes some real healing to get through that stuff.
Yeah. And some people never heal. Some people go their whole life and they grown accustomed to. I know some people said, I don't, care. Like, the relationship gonna end anyway, so it don't even matter what happens if they cheat on me or not. It's gonna I'm gonna break up with them anyway. Some people don't care, and that's sad.
Sometimes you can't get out though.
Sometimes you can't get out.
Sometimes you can't get
You're
out
stuck in a
because
sunken place.
you stuck. Yes, yes, yes.
So you ready to switch gears a little bit?
Sure. So what do you think? Well, before we switch gears, let me ask you another question.
Yes.
From a male's perspective. I know Brandon mentioned some things, but from your perspective, why do you think men would not call the police?
It's the same. It's an embarrassment thing. It's the same thing why men won't call if a woman actually raped them, and that could happen.
Yeah.
It's an embarrassment. Like I gotta sit there and fill out a police report. Like she hit me right here in my lip, and she called me stupid, and like guys don't want to go
play
there.
so
Like
much.
guys are expected
I
to
get
be
it's
guys.
not funny, but your delivery is so funny.
That's just what it. But I give you
Yeah.
a perfect example. It was just like 4 years ago. It was a serial rapist in Texas, but he was raping guys. He raped it's like 10 guys came forward. So that means he raped at least 50. Because them other 40 wasn't. It just, guys are told you got to shake it off.
Yeah.
It like, be tough, shake it off, man. You let that happen to you? Man, what's wrong with you?
Yeah. Okay, so now let's switch gears. Thank you for that. So what should love look like? What should it look like? What's the opposite of toxic relationship?
Love should look like, I don't see myself with anybody else other than this person. I don't see anybody else. Like, yeah, ma'am, you have some great breasts, but I don't want those breasts. I want the breasts that I'm in love with. Keep those breasts away from me.
Keep those breasts away from me.
That's what love is.
Breast.
Yeah, like
The way you love
you don't
somebody's
see
breast is
nothing
love.
else but that person. Nothing affects you. You see,
Yeah.
all you see about that. All you do is think about that person. Like, I'm hungry. I wonder if my girl hungry too. Hey, you hungry? Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna bring you something to eat.
That's the ultimate love question. You hungry? That's the love question.
Yeah.
Y'all gotta make sure you eat.
Like, you could be out at the store. You like, I'm gonna go in Walmart. I'm gonna grab me. I gotta get some Q-tips. And in Walmart, like, and you walk past some deodorant, like, you know what? I noticed my girl deodorant stick was like she was like scraping. Let me get her some deodorant because she probably forgot to get some. And like, babe, I noticed you was digging for your deodorant with your finger. Here's a fresh stick.
Yeah.
Like,
Thoughtfulness goes a long way. I
Yeah.
say that all the time. Thoughtfulness. Like you think about that person. You want to make sure that you not only meet their needs, but exceed.
Right. Oh, real quick, I gotta read this comment because it's funny. Danisha said, I had the officer tell me you'll be back with him tomorrow, so I can't even imagine the bullshit they say to men. Like,
That's true.
That's 100% true.
That's so true.
Like, hey, brother.
And a lot of times, depending on how crazy the dang on person is, restraining order ain't gonna do nothing.
No.
It don't do nothing. They will find you.
If they willing to,
they will find you.
If they're willing to beat you down, they don't care about jail. They made up their mind. I don't care about going to jail. I want to see naked men in the shower. They have already come to that conclusion. But anyway, what does love look and feel like to you?
Ooh, love feels like elevation. That's what it feels like to me.
Mm-hmm. Elevation.
Yes, it feels like elevation. Mm-hmm. What I mean is, and I'll use this metaphor that I had spoke about a few weeks ago on my Facebook Live. I talked about cutting my hair. My hair used to be pretty long, and I cut my hair.
By yourself?
Well, at first it was by myself. I got it shaped up now, but at first it was by myself. I just went in the bathroom and started clipping. Stop, Jay.
Oh, wow.
I just went in the bathroom and started clipping some things. But when I did that, to me, it was also symbolic because I was cutting off dead ends in a relationship that was also dead,
How did your guy take it?
My guy, he said that he liked it, but he also said, I think next time you should go to the shop and get it done.
So that's an honest guy right there. I can respect that answer. He didn't step on you all the way. But
he's like, I do like your fro. I do like you with your haircut short. I think it's cute on you, but you might want to get it shaped by like a beautician next time. Just go to the shop.
That's a good way to put it.
But that's and that's a sign of healthy communication, right?
You
I
get
ask you, hey,
you
do
can
you
speak
like
your
it?
truth and
Right.
don't go vagina supply cut off. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing.
So, anyways, before I was rudely interrupted. Love is like an elevation. So I cut my hair and you cut the dead ends and things like that. And I felt like the things that were unhealthy were released. And I'm just kind of using that metaphorically.
Release.
But it was released. Like you release old things that don't serve you. And so when I got with my new guy, it was like an elevation. Like we completely support each other. It feels good,
And he liked your fro.
And he likes my fro.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Sherelle said, love can't be defined because everyone loves differently. Everyone has their own version of love. So what is love to individuals? Whatever they think it is. Some people think, my man bring home all the money. I don't have to say anything. I let him do what he wants. I'll just be a stay-at-home wife. Or some people think that, hey, it's okay that my man only pushes me down the stairs. At least he does it when the kids are not around.
That's true.
Now and I can stick this out. I got tough skin in the body. So
yeah. I think people confuse love with being just an emotion. And love is not an emotion. It's not only an emotion. It is an action. And I think when we think about love as an action, we can better define what love is. I hear what Sherelle is saying, but I do think that there is some definition of what love is. Mm-hmm. So, what do you think? Well, I think we answered that. Do you want to move on to our next
what
segment?
does you think a happy relationship look like?
Yeah, we kind of answered that, right? What does it? What do you think? You got something else to add?
Hospital visit free is what a healthy relationship looks like.
So you're talking about medically,
mentally, physically. When you don't have to explain your body to nobody,
yeah,
that's what a healthy relationship is.
Yeah.
Well, like when people can tell, even if it's not physical, if you just been beat up mentally, people like, well, like what happened to you? Like, what? Look at your face, sweetie. Look at your face. You look like you've been through war.
I think a healthy relationship looks like happiness. Mm. I think you could look at somebody and be like, "Oh, girl, you glowing." I hear that.
Self-love.
Self-love.
Is that masturbation? Because I can talk. How much time?
Oh my gosh, it can be masturbation, but that's not what we're talking about.
Okay, I was gonna say we're gonna go over
self-love strategies. One thing that I do is I do something called Reiki for my self-love. Reiki is an alternative healing method, and it just kind of shifts the energy in your body, and help to bring some things to the surface. So I enjoy Reiki. It's just a touch therapy.
Touch. Yeah. So you touch yourself.
Touch.
You touch yourself.
Yes.
And so when I talk about self-love, I get looked at.
I'm not talking about masturbation because that's what you're talking about. And I'm not talking about that.
You touch yourself. I touch myself. It's same difference. Tomato. Tomato.
Hold on. My sister's saying something. I see Felicia popping up. What's she saying?
You just ignoring people? What are y'all here doing?
I'm sorry.
Jeez.
Okay. Felicia said, so true, Jay Davis. Guys hardly ever report abuse of any kind. She said a woman leaves a domestic violence relationship at minimum 7 times, so some law enforcement officers don't take their calls seriously. Yep.
Yeah, if they keep getting the same call, like, oh, that's Joyce and Frank, they'll swing it out. They'll figure it out.
Right. Okay. So, do you want to go on to our next part real quick?
Your date T letter? What you got?
Date T letter.
What you got for us right now?
Okay, so
who has a horrible situation?
So here's the thing. So date T is, and please follow us at the Date T. Date T is the platform where we are helping to create healthy dating situations. So we just want dating to be fun. That's what we want. So if you have any dating questions, you want some dating advice, then you can submit a letter or a question to us at the Date T or at the To Be Honest radio show. So, anyways, here's what I have. I just have some questions that was inboxed to me actually on today, and she says, why is he so damn flamboyant? What's with his high ass pitched voice and these hand gestures? Date T, the fudge.
A lot of guys
So,
are very feminine, and I don't know if it's this new culture. It's like in the 80s, there was some androgynous stuff going on. Prince used to make it cool for guys to wear eyeshadows and blouses, but now it's kind of coming back, and guys are wearing purses
yeah,
and tight pants. I don't know what's going on,
yeah.
but I'm just saying, I'm not saying that he's gay, and there's nothing wrong with being gay. Do your thing, but you're gonna find out before I do if he's gay or not. Because so I mean,
Yeah.
if you have any, go with your gut. If you feeling that, hey, I think he might go both ways, and you're not ready for that situation, just back out slow.
No, quickly. Back out slow. No, you back out quickly. We don't have time for that. I already know I don't want this. So yeah, I think to the person who sent this in, I think, we can't say why he's flamboyant, but there are some men who have female tendencies.
Yeah.
Men, it could be because they just grew up around women, and that's what they've been conditioned to do, to model.
And you can keep ignoring it if you want to, but the minute he pulled down his pants and he has a brown stain on the front,
Stop.
it's too late at that point. You messed up, homie. Just saying.
What is your problem?
Hey, my fault. I'm trying to help these women. Hepatitis is serious, ladies.
But you know what? I think it's important to feel comfortable with the person that you're dating and the person that you're going to be in a relationship with. So if you have, like you said, to trust the gut, if you have any type of thoughts that's going to prevent you from feeling 100, pure, 100% pure with this person, and like all in with this person, then I need
you got
to back up.
If you got every time,
I don't like playing with that.
Right, every time you with your friends and they ask you like, so y'all get y'all nails done every week, huh? Okay. Like if they steady asking you questions like, do you want that?
Yeah. Because I don't have a problem with asking those special questions.
Yeah.
Are you gay?
Right.
Are you attracted to men? Have you been penetrated?
Right.
Do you like penetration?
Why do you got fake lashes on? Like,
has anything been put into your mouth? Have you put anything into your mouth? I don't mind asking those questions in detail.
So,
yep.
In conclusion, domestic violence is bad.
Toxic love is bad.
Yeah, too. So,
just be mindful of how you communicate with your mates. Right. Be respectful. Don't use a lot of profanity, especially not towards them, because that also creates some toxic environment. So, how can we find you, Davis? Congratulations again on your award.
Thank you, Sugarfoot. You can find me at JDavisTP on Instagram, Snapchat, JDavisTP on Facebook, and JDavisFilms.com.
Yes, and you can find me at I am Crystal Iris and at the Date T to submit your questions or advice stuff, and at the TH Radio Show for our show. So join us.
Tune in next week, same time at To Be Honest Radio, right here on IntellectualRadio.com.
Right. Bye-bye.
If I need her to come through, turn up with best friends. Bought you with bottles she want you. A female version of myself. Couldn't be with nobody else. Oh, vibe is so amazing every time we